All right, so if everyone can hear us, give us a thumbs up.
Yes.
So the one person that I can actually see just gave me a thumbs up, said that you guys can hear us loud and clear.
All right, folks. Happy Thursday. We're still working out the kinks, so hopefully it works out very well. And I see virtual thumbs up, so we must be doing well.
Sweet.
I feel like it's like one of those 1980s telemarketer things. Anyways, before we get into any questions, a couple things I got to clear up first. Some information to pass. First, I want to emphasize the importance of adhering to some regulations as far as pavilion use. Right. Without sounding frustrated, please. The staff is spending entirely too much time finding ways to keep the pavilions open. And this isn't just about drinking. This is just about keeping the pavilions open so y'all can have a place to be social. In order to do that, I need adherence to the fullest extent possible with the rules there. So the rules we posted inside of each pavilion, which pavilions can drink, what hours, will all be posted. If you have a question, ask, but please police each other, right? Most of this stuff is stuff we could have easily stopped. Not in our squadron, but on the base. Somebody was hospitalized last weekend with a 0.2 alcohol level. That wasn't that person by themselves. A lot of people had seen that. We can work together to get that stuff solved. Because frankly, if we don't, we're never going to move to making things better, because we're only playing defense to keep things okay. Chief?
Yeah. Really, at the end of the day, guys, and you know how our leadership team works. We're out there fighting hard each and every day, and quite frankly, pissing a bunch of other people off to ensure that you guys have some sense of I guess normalcy, if you will, in these different times. So if you guys aren't policing, checking, and correcting each other, then a lot of that stuff goes away, and we are in that constant fight every week, and it's almost like every Sunday, Monday, we're in a fight to kind of defend that, hey, 95% of you guys are doing the right things. But people are focusing on that small 5% or less that's just going to ruin it for everyone. So if you guys want to continue to have the freedoms that you're granted right now, you have to step up and police yourselves, police your wingmen, police your joint service partners in certain cases too. But definitely police each other and make sure that we're all doing the right thing. Like I said, at the end of the day, it's about taking care of each other. And sometimes taking care of each other says, hey, you've had too much and you need to stop, or we're going to have to call, someone to help us out here.
And on a positive, I do appreciate the connectedness, the camaraderie that goes around with those pavilions, which is why we want so much to keep them open, because I do think it's a mental health avenue, and even aside from drinking, because there's better ways to cope than just getting drunk. It's just a place to be normal, to grill a burger, and I think that's a precious thing for us to keep open. So again, I know it's not most people, but we need the most people to correct the people who are a little out of line. Masks. So as you know, this week, Chief and I have extended to ensure that we have 6 feet. 6 feet. My arm is longer than that. And if we didn't, we'd have a mask. I've been walking around the last few days, and I've seen damn near 100% mask wear. That is where we need to be. And understand the mask protects everybody else. So if we all wear masks, we've all protected each other. So we just need to get after that, right? Because anytime we break that seal and don't have the mask, it creates drama for everyone. So just be simple, check each other, make sure you got a mask. Sometimes you'll forget. You have to wear it when you're within 6 feet of people in large public areas.
Yeah. So it sounds kind of stupid, but we were getting a lot of calls about people not wearing their mask in a defect. I mean, that should be simple. Now, obviously, I don't expect you to try to eat with a mask on. That would not be smart. But if you're in there in the defect and you're grabbing food and what have you, going through the line, make sure you have your mask on. If you're sitting in the defect, make sure you're social distancing yourself and spreading out in there. Obviously, the mask is required if you're going into the BX, the shopette, any of those areas, going to MPF to do orders or what have you. So make sure we're doing that. If you're outside and you're walking around, 9 times out of 10, it's probably best to just go ahead and put your mask on. While you're in the dorms, if you're engaging with the MTL staff, you should probably have a mask on. If you're sitting at CQ, you should probably have a mask on. Any other time, I can pretty much defend you, but let's just be smart about things.
And again, we're doing phenomenal work with that. If you had told me 6 weeks ago we could get 99% of you to do anything, I would have been amazed. So the fact that we're at 99% people wearing masks is great. Let's just make sure we keep it tight. Off-base stuff. So all of the rules have been put in place, no kidding, to protect the student population, because the most important thing to us is keep the pipeline open. Because like I said last week, I think the best thing we can do for your mental health is to keep the pipeline open, which we cannot do if we have a massive pandemic on base. So restricting students to base, restricting leave for anybody to within 50 miles, restricting people who live off base to only essential movement, all of those are stacked up in order to prevent sickness. But that only works if we do all of it. So if you have relatives coming to visit you or spouses moving to the base from outside of 50 miles, and then you instantly see them without any type of ROM or any type of 14-day separation, you've now broken a seal on that and exposed everyone to that problem. And when I say everyone, is as soon as someone gets sick, it's at least 3 other people that are going to go directly into quarantine, if not 3 other people plus a class. If somebody tests positive, it's going to be about 60 to 80 people who are going to find themselves out of commission for 2 weeks, just because we didn't respect the ROM. So again, if you have a family member moving to come visit or coming to visit you that's outside of 50 miles, so a spouse from DLI or a family member from Fort Worth, and you engage with them, you will instantly get 14 days of ROM. Now, I can tell you, if I have to come find you that you did that because you didn't tell us you were going to do it, you're going to get 14 days of ROM plus a little bit of extra on the side that you probably won't. It's not going to be great. And to that point, and I don't like to start this negative, but it's going to be an exception for people I approve to go live off base right now, because we've lost a little bit of control on that. We've had a couple breakdowns in our quarantine bubble, if you will. We have to be a little bit more sound in that. So if you are going to ask to move off base, and I'm not telling you not to, but you're going to have a very, very coherent plan on how we're going to respect ROM.
Yeah, and not only a plan, but a valid reason, right? Because we're really looking at everything, and a lot of times there is a valid reason for someone to really have their spouse or their families here with them right now. Hopefully we're doing our jobs in the most efficient way possible, and we're getting you guys in and we're getting you out. And we've expedited a lot of things over the last couple of weeks, so we're moving people out of here fairly quickly. So having someone move down here during your time here is probably not the most economical thing that you can do, because we're looking at that too, because a lot of you guys, especially when we're talking about the Palm guys, you're getting BAH from Monterey. The moment your folks move here with you, guess what? You're getting BAH from San Angelo, and that's a significant drop. And if you don't think finance won't find that, trust me, they will, and they will take it all out in one fell swoop, which means it's probably going to cause you some financial hardships on down the line. But the biggest issue here is it's safety, right? We're only as strongest as our weakest link. And if people are taking advantage or breaking the rules and, bringing their family here and they're not doing the ROM, it's not documented, it's not coordinated, you're not letting the leadership team know that, hey, here's the plan and here's the reasons why, and here's what we're going to do. If you're not putting all those things in place, what you're doing is you're putting the whole community in jeopardy. And to me, that's selfish. And, we as military members, our inherent job is to, protect this nation. And we can only protect the nation if we can protect ourselves and we can get everyone out into the, active operational community so that we can do the jobs that are entrusted us. And so if we can't protect our community, protect our families, protect our loved ones, the communities that we live in day out, then why are we here? And sometimes that just means us having to put more restraints on ourselves than the people in the civilian population. That's our job. That's our duty. There are a lot of restraints that we as military members have on ourselves that the civilian population does not. And that's because we are held to a higher standard and there is more expected of us. And if you guys can't adhere to that in this short period of time, and like I said, it's in the grand scheme of things, it's a short period of time, but this is times that we've never seen like this. But you got to be able to adhere to that during this time. And if not, we may have to find you another place to be employed. Or, as boss says, if we have to come find you that you did something wrong, there may be some paperwork coming along with it, and not the little everyday paperwork that nobody cares about, but probably the kind that may, allow a stripe to be taken, off a sleeve or off your chest, if you will.
But again, and most everybody's doing is perfect, which is what makes it a bigger deal when somebody doesn't. So just another area for us to clean up. And the fact that we're working in the details means we're doing the main body correct. But please don't make us put on the angry face and find people. That doesn't help anybody. Some outline questions that were passed up before this. The outdoor gym, when are we going to reopen it? Well, most of it should still be open. I know the hit locker is closed. The Marines are missing some equipment. If you have the equipment, return it to the Marines. The Marines are also searching their rooms to get it returned. Once we get it all returned, everything's going to open back up again. But I appreciate the fact that people are staying active and want to work out. So as soon as we can get that open, the intent is there to get that open. Someone asked a question about the positive corona test we had on base. Army dependent, tested positive. They live off base. Both the Army member and the dependents, right? The Army member and the two children.
The children.
All three tested negative. That member and none of the family had been on base for about 2 to 3 weeks. So very, very low risk of spread there. But valid question. And we do need to find a better way to protect people's privacy while also getting that data out, because it is weird. Hey, we had a corona case or COVID-19 case, sorry, and hadn't shared the data. Class start dates for people who just arrived. It's going to be quick because we're going to get you in online training as fast as possible. Continue to push for those dates. I would expect in the next week or two to have everybody who's gotten off the bus recently to be in class, not in the skiff, but in their room. Chief, what else do we want to hit on?
It's really about it. Like by and large, you guys have been rocking it and doing some great things. What we've done here over the last 3 weeks, especially, by changing the behaviors, with people, washing their hands appropriately, social distancing, the wear of the mask, all those different things are just going to help us in the long term get through this, hopefully a little bit faster, but also prepare us for the long game. Because at the end of the day, a lot of what our country is doing is for, social distancing to flatten the curve. Well, we can flatten the curve, but the virus isn't going to go anywhere. It's here, and it's probably here to stay. And until, we can develop treatments and vaccines for it, this is kind of our new normal, things that we're going to have to deal with. So I applaud you guys for the flexibility that you have with, all the changes as far as social distancing. I applaud you guys for staying socially connected to each other. Then I applaud you guys for the flexibility of transitioning to how we fundamentally changed the way that we're training right now. And so keep up the good work. Keep up the communication, because when communication stops, then things start to fail. So if there are any issues and you're dealing with something and you're frustrated about it, make sure you get that up to your leadership team so we can try to help you out as best we can. Sometimes it may be, yes, we can put something in place or get after a problem set, and sometimes it may be that's just something that you're going to have to deal with. But if you don't communicate it up, we can't help you.
Yeah. So, and that goes for positives too, right? So our number one priority is your safety, your health, and to include your mental health, and really what do we need to do because we're going to get through this. You're going to get educated, but what do we need to do to make sure it's the best version of you at the end of this? And with that, if there are ideas out there that we can do that are socially distant but still connected, or physically distant but still socially connected, I'm all ears, man. Just bring those ideas up to us. We want to get after that. We're finding that we have some space and opportunity now that things are normalizing. If it needs resources, we can figure out how to do that. But right now, I just need the ideas because, again, this isn't supposed to be a lockdown, minimum security prison. That's the idea behind the pavilions. That's the idea behind keeping things open. That's the idea behind walking around and saying good morning and good afternoon to everybody. I've never had so many people engaged walking around with a mask. But I think we're doing a phenomenal job there. But there's always more we can do. And in my perspective, is different than yours, right? Because we're living in different worlds. So let me know what we can do to make it better for you. Up channel that through your MTL, through your staff, through the Discord, through questions now, whatever. And give us an opportunity to continue to make this better. Because I don't want to focus on that, the first 10 minutes of this discussion where we do have some outliers. I want to focus on what we're going to do next to continue to evolve and continue to make this better. Just like Chief said, this isn't going to end tomorrow or next week, or we don't really even know. But it doesn't mean we don't have to continue to strive to make the existence here better and better for you, because that is number one, the reason why we come to work each day. Also, use this time to connect with your family. Someone gave me some great advice earlier, like, hey, we're all stuck, but it's 2020 and we got some technology. This is some great time to reach out to your family. This is a great time to also let us know what stressors you're getting with your family, because I know there's people who have family members who are in places that aren't as isolated as San Angelo and Goodfellow Air Force Base. People who live in large cities that do have some challenges, and you need to be able to find places to talk that out. So let's start figuring out ways to share some of these stories to relieve some of that stress, because I don't want people walking around carrying around burdens and not unloading them not on each other but to each other. And on that note, you're walking around on base on the weekends during the day. You're going to engage people. Not everybody's having the best day. Some people are scared to drive in the gate because they think everybody's going to get them sick, and that's a reasonable thought. But we're trying to mitigate that with masks and things like that. What I need you to do is stay professional. If somebody engages you that's already super tense and angry, don't engage. Don't get unprofessional. Yes sir, no. Yes sir, no sir. Yes ma'am, no ma'am. Get a name if it's unprofessional. Let us know. We'll deal with that. But understand tensions are high, and we don't need to add to that, right? The intent is, again, to keep things cool. With that, if there's any questions, let's fire them up, because we'll get after those while we're here, as we sit and look at each other awkwardly. Let's do it down on my notes.
Yeah, can we talk through the CADM C. Barney piece?
Yeah, what do you?
Yeah. So there was a question about CADM and C. Barney training as PCS requirements for folks. Right now, C. Barney, there's a waiver, and so C. Barney has been waived. There isn't a waiver necessarily for CADM right now, but we're figuring out ways to kind of get around that. So some of you guys are going to have to go through CADM because they're still doing the training here on base. Others may get that requirement waived. So we're working through all those things right now and putting together a list of folks that we may be able to send out immediately. And those are the first folks that we're going to target as far as kind of waiving those training requirements for them. Other folks may still have to go through CADM. So right now, C. Barney is waived. CADM is kind of a TBD, and that's dependent on who you are, when you graduated, where you're going, and what's the time frame within that. So we're getting after it. We're trying to get you guys out of here as quickly as possible, because folks from BMT are coming here every week. So we need to keep you guys moving every week. So if you're not getting any answers, make sure you're following that up through your MTLs, especially your OutPro MTL, and we'll get you answers to those things. So we're working on that diligently. But right now, it's a TBD for CADM, but C. Barney has been waived across the board.
And obviously, SEER remains an obstacle, right? We're working through it. SEER is still open. People are still moving. It's not as fast as we'd like it. But the idea is, I don't want anybody to ever feel stuck. If you feel fully stuck, make sure you up channel that, right? We may wait longer, but waiting longer isn't stuck. It's waiting but moving forward slower. But if you feel like if you graduate and you're sitting around and waiting for an assignment, well, let us know. If you need orders and you've been out of class for a few weeks, let us know, because we're trying to get after that space. That no kidding is Chief's almost full-time job right now. Is getting people unstuck, because stuck is a bad way to get to a dark place, and we're not going to get there, right? We're not going to let you get stuck. We're not going to shut down the pipeline. We're going to continue to move forward and grind this out. Got a good question. So I found out today that the Citibank had closed, I guess, and they're not doing GTCs. Kind of shocked when somebody asked me that. That is a complication, but not necessarily a problem. You can be centrally billed on your PCSs. They can centrally bill a singular order, and sometimes when you deploy things like that will happen, right? So there will be a singular fund site that will be used when you do your travel voucher at the end. It's a little more complicated, but it actually, once we crack the code on it, will work. So you're not going to have to pay for your own PCS. You will be reimbursed for your expenses, and it'll all get paid off. It'll just look a little bit different than a GTC. I seriously, I found out this afternoon that Citibank was closed.
I did not know that. So
probably all those $1,200 checks. Let's see. So squadron morale efforts are much appreciated. The games from last weekend were great. Are we going to continue weekend events and activities?
So great question. The short answer is I believe so, but that cannot just be driven by us as the leadership team. That kind of needs to be a grassroots movement from you guys. So let us know what you guys want to do. We'll make sure that you have the resources necessary. We'll make sure that we have the advertisement for the events. There are things that we're trying to look at as a leadership team also. But if it's just us coming up with what we think you guys would think is cool, then that I don't know how many of you will actually reach. So if you guys got any great ideas that you want to run with, let us know. We'll get behind you. We'll give you all the support that we can, and we'll make those things happen. So the plan is, if you guys have ideas for those weekend activities, then yes, we want to push forward with them as much as possible.
So straight up, like the chief says, the best ones are ideas, and the best executed ones are the plans that you guys give us. If I come up with something, it's gonna suck for you. I'm sorry. I mean, I haven't been in E2 in 25 years, 24 years. So I don't know what you want. But if you tell me what you want, we will find the resources to get you what you need. But again, I don't know what to ask for yet. So give me an idea. I know you've got some incredibly talented MTLs and instructors that will help you flesh out these ideas, but we can't be the ones who create them, because it's not going to work, and it's going to take away time that we're using to keep the pipeline open, quite honestly. If I can have Chief plan a morale event, or I can ask him to get 3 people on assignment. I'm probably going to ask him to get those 3 assignments. But if you give us the plan for the morale event, we can find the resources. Is that check, right?
Yeah.
So White Ropes are hosting a talent show on Zoom. I'd check out that in Discord.
Nice.
I will not be participating. I suck as a singer, and I cannot play any instruments. I believe chaplain service. So somebody asked about chaplain services. Can they be made virtual? I am tracking that they are. We will hunt that data down and get it into Discord, so you can. Goodfellow website. Goodfellow website also has it, but let me double down on that and please remind me. I want to shoot that out on Discord. But that's a good question. I know the Goodfellow Facebook page and the Goodfellow the 17 Training Link website has a lot of these links and these data, but sometimes it's hard to find because it's buried under a lot of updates. So that's a great question. Let's see if we can get that data out to you. What else you got? They're going to add the chaplain to Discord tonight. Cool. Thank you. Gear. How's your Peloton? Anything else? It's kind of weird because we get this delay, so we're just kind of looking at people. All right. Last call. If there are any questions that come in the next 2 minutes, we'll answer them. If not, The dialogue is open. I'm also one thing, and this is for really anybody in the. Oh. Yeah. So actually, what I'm trying to do. That's a great question. So people are trying to organize small group sports, right? Which is great. I fully support that. Of course, we're walking a weird line there, right? Because people will look at it and get awkward, but absolutely, small group sports, I think, is a phenomenal idea. One, because it helps you get after PT, which is a great stress reliever. I'm not looking for us to rent equipment. I'm looking for us to get the keys to all the equipment. So if we create a demand signal and some time, I think I'm going to have enough leverage to go and ask if we can get equipment. If not, there's ways for us to use squadron funds and get that. So the answer is yes, but I need to know how much we need. But that's a great question. Oh, visitors. Visitors from other squadrons inside the 316. Hey, Chief, I need to get some water if you could take that one.
No.
So there we go. And there's a lot of reasons for that. So if you invite their visitors, you're going to also invite their MTLs. You're also going to invite different oversight, which is not bad because I think we're very close to the same. But we need to be very, very careful with that. So, like the chief said, right now it's no, and that does make sense for where we're at. Hopefully, we can keep the pavilions open, right? That's why it's important. That's a great thing. Go to the pavilion. Please don't go to the woods behind the med group.
Med group.
When the rain came down last Saturday night, about 10 people walked out from there, which I thought was a little bit weird, but whatever. Let's see, anything else? All right, so I haven't seen anything else come in right now. Before the chief gives us some motivation, the bottom line on all this, despite the need to clean up around the edges, which is we're always going to be working at this, so it's not really an issue. I could not express how proud I am to be part of this organization, regardless of the challenge that we've had over the last few weeks, regardless of how quick the rules have changed. The isolation to base, or not the isolation, the restriction to base, the limited support, the requirement to keep coming to class and show up in different forums, and frankly, lead at across all levels. Airmen leading airmen right now, we're going to be at an all-time record, I think. That's phenomenal. I want to capture that and really set a new standard for what we're going to be like on the other side of this. Keep doing everything you're doing. It is incredibly appreciated. I can tell you it resonates with our senior leaders. We had Colonel Rosario in the office yesterday, and all he wanted to do was talk about how amazing the spirit of our airmen have been and the performance and behaviors. So thank you for that. I'm humbled to be around you guys. Yeah,
I got nothing else to add to that, guys. Like I said, I'm proud of you. I'm amazed at you. Some of the ingenuity that you guys have and have displayed over the last 3, 4, 5 weeks. It's been nothing short of phenomenal. So keep up the good work. If there was like a fins up emoji that someone has, that we could do that. So as we get out of here, let's get a Go Sharks Go. Fins up.
Thank you guys. Have a good day.